Welcome into another week of Friday Night Football right here on ABC 10. This week starting to feel a little more like football weather across our region. And we'll get to our game of the week in a moment, but first we have big news out of the Bay Area. The storied De La Salle Spartans with their hands full tonight against St. Francis of Mountain View. The Spartans haven't been beaten by a NorCal opponent in 30 years. Our thanks to Darren Sabidra of the Bay Area News Group for these highlights. As you can see, De La Salle taking the lead for the first time tonight. That's A.J. Biakina with the touchdown. With 1:28 left to play, St. Francis held a 21-7 lead at the half. Spartans on top 28-24. Then the St. Francis Lancers, with less than 30 seconds on the clock, score the go-ahead TD right here. St. Francis becomes the first NorCal team, North of Fresno, to hand De La Salle a loss in 30 years. 31-28 is the final. I can't believe it. So the luster comes off next Friday's game just a little as De La Salle heads to Folsom to meet the Bulldogs next Friday night. The Bulldogs won't care that St. Francis broke the streak. They'll look to hand the Spartans a second straight loss. All right, now to our ABC 10 game of the week. And for that, we head to the 209 in Stockton, my hometown, where ABC 10's John Bartell was on hand to see a matchup of unbeatens. The Edison Vikings welcoming in Central Grizzlies of Fresno. Take it away, John.
Hey, Johnny Football here. We got the Grizzlies against the Vikings. We're at Edison High. Got the DJ playing. Let's go to those highlights. It's a dance party up in here, and Vikings are dancing for this first quarter. Take a look at that interception. My shot's a little blurry here because the Viking catch was so fast, but the fans still love it.
Go Soul Vikes!
Into the first quarter now. Grizzlies sneak this one in, and they'll put the first points on the board, but it won't be the last score before the buzzer. Kicker Eric Rodriguez with the field goal. Take a look at that, and that's worth cheering for. We're going to do a little time travel into the third quarter now. Watch this interception by Dozie Frazandan right in Grizzly end zone, but then he runs it down the field. Later in the game, that'll set up things nicely for Caleb Gibbs. Watch this nice catch and the dive into the end zone. Viking fans, hey, they know what's up.
You know, he just scored that. Like, he's just the best.
Now at the end of the fourth quarter, the score was tied until the Grizzlies drive through the line. That'll put them on top, 17-10. Grizzlies take home the win. All right, that's all from Edison High School. I'm Johnny Football. Back to you.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Johnny Football. I'm getting hypey there. Now, we're just getting started. Up next, a game that could have just as easily been our game of the week, taking place in Elk Grove. The Oak Ridge Trojans visiting the Elk Grove Thundering Herd. And can we say that the fans are fired up for this one? Packed house at Elk Grove High School tonight. The Thundering Herd would give the fans something to shout about. Early on, Oak Ridge back to pass, and it's picked off by Chris Dodson. He's going to run this all the way back inside the 15-yard line. Very next play for Elk Grove. Forgive the shakiness of the camera. I just had to run back 50 yards after the interception. That's Caden Koshik with the shake and bake to get in the end zone for 6. That would give Elk Grove an early 6-0 lead, and they would add to it later in the first quarter. Elk Grove from the 1-yard line. Zeke Burnett plows it up the middle for the touchdown. That gave Elk Grove a 13-0 lead, but Oak Ridge would come back and win this game in the second half by a score of 28-27. Oak Ridge moves to 2-1 on the season. Next, we're going to head to Sheldon, where the Pleasant Grove Eagles played host to the Yuba City Honkers student sections. Liddy will pick this one up with less than 3 minutes in the half. Yuba City ball, and Adrian Ramirez plows this one up the gut for the touchdown. The Honkers took a 21-16 lead at halftime. To the third quarter, Yuba City ball. And I'm not sure who made Brandon Sanders so mad, but this is one of the meanest runs I've ever seen. I mean, it takes the whole Pleasant Grove team just to take him down. Eat, young fella. Same drive for Yuba City, and why not give the ball to Sanders again? He's going to cut this one outside and get him for the touchdown. It was that kind of night for the Honkers. Pleasant Grove, undefeated no more. Yuba City steals this one, 42-23. Back to Sacramento, to campus of Capital Christian High School. Anthony Garcia, the son of Aaron Garcia, and his Cougars looking to avoid a second straight loss by welcoming the talented Rockland Thunder to town. Kenny Lewitt and his Thunder looking to notch a third straight victory, and they get out to a superb start there. Lewitt firing Elias Mullican for the game's first score. Then another slant pass resulting in another touchdown. Check out Kyrie Bell, who turns on the Jets. Lewitt slings 4 touchdowns on the night. The Rockland Thunder able to shut down Garcia, coming away with 2 picks tonight and keep the Cougars offense at bay. Thunder improved to 3-0 on the season. Now, the Granite Bay Grizzlies, our game of the week last week with their matchup with Jesuit. This week, a chance to bounce back against the Vacaville Bulldogs. Now, Joe Catalico, a lot to be proud of this week with his Grizzlies as Granite Bay striking first. That's Jace Latson scoring from a few yards out. Then, second quarter, Noah Mitchum airs it out after we see these fans there. All right, now he's going to air it out. Faking our camera out just a little bit. It happens. Josh Corbin hauls it in. Granite Bay would take a 14-9 lead at the half, and that's all the scoring we'd see the rest of the way. Granite Bay holding Vacaville to 3 field goals tonight. Grizzlies improved to 3-1 on the season with a matchup with Del Oro set for next Friday night. Vacaville falls to 2-2. Granite Bay 14-9. By the way, they had all field goals in this one. They held them to all field goals. To Oakmont High School, Wood Creek coach, that's Coach Bradley Huckins getting his team motivated. The Oakmont Vikings hosting the Timberwolves. Will pick this up in the third quarter. Wood Creek already up 21-0 at this point. They add to it. Cooper Young takes the handoff. He goes in for the touchdown. That put the Timberwolves up 28-0, and that's the score that they would end up winning by. They win this one 28-0.